tried for the murder of anti-apartheid activist Ahmed Timol has once again been delayed. The former security branch police officer was back in the South Gauteng High Court today. Last year, Judge Millie Motley found that Timol died at the hands of the security branch police. Rodriguez was implicated as an accomplice in Timol's murder. However, his legal team argue that he shouldn't face jail time for a host of reasons, including his age. They'll now approach the Supreme Court of Appeal, asking it for a permanent stay of prosecution after his first application was dismissed last year. Well, let's talk about the impact of another postponement on the Timol family. We're joined by his nephew, Imtiaz Kaji, from our studios in Pretoria. Imtiaz, thank you so much for your time. This inquest resumed 46 years after Ahmed Timol's death. You've been researching his death for over 2 decades. To hear of another postponement, particularly when João Rodrigues is now in his 80s, how does that make you feel?
Good afternoon, Melanie. Look, obviously it's not very pleasant, for more than 2 years and 4 months, the Rodrigues criminal case has not commenced to date. But I comfort myself, Melanie, knowing that, at least in my uncle's matter, his inquest was reopened in 2017. The 1972 inquest was reversed by Judge Millie Motley in 2017. Rodrigues has been charged. But many other families, like the widows of the Cradock Four, the wife of Suleiman Babla Saluji, the wife of Mapetla Mohapi, the family of Nicodemus Khawati, Imam Harun, Ashley Creel. These families have to date have got absolutely no idea as to when their cases will be reinvestigated, reopened. And I think that, that is the comfort that I need, that allows me to continue, does not allow me to be deflated, but only to make me more resolute, more determined to ensure that, the criminal case must commence. And that is why we eagerly await, a date for the Supreme Court of Appeal, to hear oral arguments from the respective legal teams.
When you started this, was the hope that you would see someone behind bars?
Look, Melanie, I've been very consistent that we've continuously reached out to apartheid-era perpetrators. And this was amplified by Judge Millie Motley in the 2017 inquest, literally begging and pleading the likes of João Rodrigues to come clean, to speak the truth, because his versions of events are simply not plausible. But one must give out a very stern message to apartheid-era perpetrators that our levels of generosity, levels of kindness, and the compassion that we continue to have in our hearts, despite losing our loved ones, and we continue reaching out to these apartheid-era perpetrators for them to come clean, for them to meet us halfway, in order for us to have genuine reconciliation. And again, this is not taken seriously. I mean, in the Aggett matter, Melanie, Dietlefs was testifying. And he has the audacity to testify in a court of law in a democratic South Africa, saying that Dr. Neil Aggett felt guilty because during interrogation, he had given up one of his comrades and that made him suicidal. Now that is an ultimate insult to the memory and legacy of Dr. Neil Aggett. And this is what the apartheid-era operative Dietlefs testified in a democratic South Africa, that the message is very clear. They take absolutely no sense of responsibility. They apportion blame on security branch officers like Cromright and Whitehead who have passed on. And one then has got to ask the question, why did the NPA take so long to reopen the Aggett inquest? And more specifically, wait till the day Whitehead had died, and the next day they then announced that they're reopening the Aggett inquest.
Just briefly, Imtiaz, what's also controversial is, of course, the legal funding, because João Rodrigues' legal defense has been funded by the state, if I'm correct.
No, you're 100% correct. We totally depend on pro bono lawyers and the likes of Yasmin Soka, to assemble a team to represent us. And the state covers Rodrigues' legal costs. And that is why, his legal team can afford to appeal a decision of a full bench that dismisses his application for a permanent stay of prosecution, take the matter to the Supreme Court of Appeal in Bloemfontein, and will be rest assured that once they lose that application, they will take it to the Constitutional Court in Bloemfontein because they're not covering any of the legal costs.
Imtiaz Kaji, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.